Just in the last 24 hours, there's been a ton of new Nintendo Switch information, some of which are games that are now confirmed to be coming to the Switch, also leaked games, and then we even had the big announcement from Nintendo this morning saying that tomorrow morning there will be a Indie World Showcase presentation, and we have to talk about what kind of games we may see presented at this event, and then also how this could indicate that we are, of course, again around the corner from a September Nintendo Direct. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, we're talking about a few different Nintendo Switch news stories today. The first of which I want to quickly update you all on is the fact that we do have a new game now confirmed for the Switch that was heavily rumored because we saw things like the ESRB actually go through a rating process for it, and it's really no surprise, but we do have the third installment of Darksiders actually making its way to the Switch, which this game was originally released in 2018 on the Xbox One and the PS4. And of course, it was towards the back half of 2018, but that's still been quite some time. So it definitely took quite a while to get this one onto the Switch. But, you know, we had the previous two Darksiders, so it's not a huge surprise to see this one make it over as well. And while Darksiders does offer some really cool gameplay, puzzles, and exploration, it kind of has like a little Zelda-esque vibe, a little bit of Dark Souls combat related style in there as well. But you know, while it seems like a game that should appeal to me on the surface, I never got super pulled into one of those, and maybe it's because I didn't give it enough of a chance to begin with. So please let me know if you guys are fans of the Darksiders series below and if you'll be picking this up. But it does appear that this will be finally coming over to the Nintendo Switch at just a $40 release, which is nice, so we're not even having to talk about a full $60 price point with this title. So again, this one is kind of, for me, it's one that I may or may not pick up. I haven't played through the previous two completely. I just picked them up whenever they were originally releasing on the PS4 back in the day. So I haven't gotten back into them, but I would be curious to hear from you guys if it's something that you will be excited to look forward to. And then from there, we had a major leak / report yesterday come out around Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and how this game could be nearing an official announcement, something like I would expect to take place at a September Nintendo Direct, which we will be talking about here at the end of the video. But again, this is something that a voice actor originally was being interviewed and had a fan questionnaire and did actually say that she's not sure if she's supposed to talk about it, but that this game is in the works. And it's kind of one of those things that alone wasn't a whole lot of information, and fans were saying, well, you know, listen, it's probably that there was going to be a part 3 for Xenoblade Chronicles anyway, so this is not anything riveting. Then there was a report that came out that kind of backed up those claims and basically said that this game was originally slated for a winter 2021 release, but it is now most likely going to be pushed to something like a first quarter or second quarter of 2022, just due to the development delays and everything with the work from home orders. But I want to quickly read through that article with you guys so you're in the know when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because while I'm not the biggest Xenoblade fan out there, I do know that this has a huge fan base, super hardcore fan base that will be pumped for this title. And I would love to hear from you guys on maybe why I should, you know, get into Xenoblade in the first place, because I just haven't played through the previous titles very much at all. So I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But with that, let's read through the article very quickly here. Coleman's quote has caused rumors to stir over the weekend of a new Xenoblade Chronicles currently in development. According to our sources here, we can indeed confirm that to be the case. Moreover, the game is nearing its final stages of development, but its release day may be held back for any number of reasons. The third Xenoblade Chronicle games in development at Monolith Soft is a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, currently the best-selling game in the series. The ending of the trilogy takes place in the far-flung future, with a few returning characters who have long outlived their human counterparts from both Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is why Coleman, who plays Malia, would be aware of the third game, as her character is returning and she more than likely has recorded voice acting for it. According to our sources, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was set to be revealed earlier this year and may still be announced before the end of the calendar year, but has had a difficult time with the pandemic development and optimizing the game for the Switch. The game is aiming for more character models on screen at once than any other previous title, accounting for both the playable characters and enemies. This shouldn't come as a galloping shock, as Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition expanded the content, was titled Future Connected, indicating that Monolith Soft was looking forward to the future of the series. If all goes well, the game could be released as soon as the first half of next year, delayed from its originally and now exceedingly unlikely winter 2021 target date. As always, things can change, and no in-development game should be considered as a guarantee to be exactly the same as described or even see release. This is definitely excellent news if you're a Xenoblade fan, and I would love to hear if you guys are planning on picking this up once it is officially announced and released. And this is easily a game that could be featured at a September Nintendo Direct, as it's definitely got a huge hardcore fan base, and Nintendo could easily close or open a show with a announcement of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I still think that a lot of the fans, from what I've talked to and heard from, they still want Xenoblade Chronicles X to make its way over from the Wii U. So maybe at some point we get a port of that game, as you know, Nintendo has ported most of the Wii U library, as that system as a whole did not sell even close to what the Switch has sold. But I would love to hear from you guys on your thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The one thing that was a little bit concerning to me is, obviously one of the things that's holding back developers and timelines is the fact that they have to optimize it for the Switch. And it's very clear that developers are tapping out the base model Switch's power at this point. And with the OLED revision, we're not getting a power upgrade. And it's just one of those things that I think we're going to run into time and time again as, we go forward into the Switch's life cycle. And especially whenever you talk about third-party games coming over. So I would love to hear from you guys as well. And if you're concerned about this running smoothly, as I know even Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had some definite performance issues, especially in handheld mode. And with the Switch being a hybrid console, you have to have it working both in dock and handheld. So it's one of those things that I hope we see less of, but I do unfortunately think the sad truth will be that we will see more delays and more developers kind of griping about the Switch's hardware and not really being able to realize their full dreams for these massive games, because the Tegra X1 is just merely dated at this point, and it's about time for a chip revision of some type. But hopefully we still see that at some point in the future before we get through like the next 4 years of the Switch's life cycle. But there's really no telling. Nintendo's Nintendo at the end of the day, and they will always do what they see best and see fit for the market. So we'll have to sit back and wait if we ever see that long waited and rumored Switch Pro. And then the last thing we're talking about today is the big announcement that tomorrow there will be, in the morning, a Indie World showcase from Nintendo. There's even already on their YouTube channel a countdown timer to go live. So if you're going to be really excited to watch through this thing as soon as it goes live, you can literally hop in, set a reminder right now on their YouTube channel. But this is, again, following the formula of what a lot of people were predicting, myself included, is that in August we will get some kind of Indie World showcase, and then that's typically followed up about 2 to 3 weeks later with a mainline direct presentation. And since we're getting it right in the middle of August, we're actually getting it on August 11th to be exact, I would expect a Nintendo Direct to take place at the beginning of September. But before we do kind of hop through the potential of a September Direct, which is most likely going to happen, especially now with this Indie World showcase being announced, I do want to talk about some of the games that I really hope we see. And I really only have a couple, as I haven't played a ton of the indie games on the Nintendo Switch, but the ones that I'm most anticipating that I really hope we see is definitely Hollow Knight Silksong. And I know a lot of fans are out there alongside me on that, because we have not seen this game in quite some time, and we know it's got to be closer to the completion of development, or at least you would suspect that it would be by now. So this could be a perfect opportunity to finally show off this game, give us a solid release date. Maybe it's even a holiday window for its actual release. So that's one that I will definitely be looking for and hope that we see at this Indie World showcase. And then you have like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game that looks incredible to me, and I really hope that we see some information around that game. But outside of those two, I don't have a ton that I'm looking forward to at Indie World, but I do hope that, maybe there's some surprise titles that I haven't seen announced yet, and maybe they're, gonna be shadow dropped the same day on the eShop, and I get really pumped about them, and I'm definitely down to check out new indie titles. So I hope we see a lot of exciting announcements. But the bigger, story piece for me on this is the fact that Nintendo is following their regular direct showcase formula again, and I think that that means that we can safely expect them to deliver a direct in September, and that's probably when we will see a game like Xenoblade 3 Chronicles announced. That's probably when we will get the last announcement of the Smash character DLC to close out the last fighter pack in Smash Ultimate. And it will be sad to really acknowledge after we get this final character, and I don't think anybody will be happy with them, because I mean, the Smash community, myself included, oftentimes builds up these releases, and then we get somebody that you're just not as much of a fan of, and you can't keep everybody happy in a scenario like this. But it will be kind of sad to reflect and realize that once we get this final announcement, that we won't have any more of these to look forward to for the foreseeable future, as it just sounds like Smash Ultimate will live on for quite a while before they ever even talk about doing a new one. And it's really because it is the pinnacle of the series, and they've done everything to add in the biggest character roster and support it for this long. And then I really hope, obviously there's going to be a couple things that we can expect to see at the September Direct, as Nintendo has to prop up their holiday lineup. So Metroid Dread will get some focus for sure. Maybe Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or there may be a separate Pokemon Presents that kind of focuses on those games. But I do think that Nintendo will take this opportunity to really paint a big picture window of what they're going to be looking at for the holiday. And I've been predicting this entire time that we probably have 1 or 2 more games that are mainline AAA games, maybe just one, maybe something like a Donkey Kong that Nintendo could surprise drop on us, and we see it for the holiday window release. Now, that's not obviously confirmed by any means. It is all speculation on my part, but I do think whenever you look at the holiday lineup for Nintendo in 2021, that there's easily one more game that could be slotted in there to kind of push things over the edge when it comes to, you know, the OLED selling for the first time, the OLED model being on the market, and Nintendo wanting to capitalize on as many sales as possible. So I still personally am holding out hope for one surprise huge announcement from a first-party Nintendo developer. And, you know, if it's Donkey Kong, I'm going to be super pumped for that. If it's not, then you know, that's okay. At the end of the day, if we get more information on existing games, and then maybe even a better look at something like Pokemon Legends Arceus, as that will be out in January or the end of January, you know, there's going to be a lot of things to and reasons to be excited for this September Direct that, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can say is for sure happening at this point. But at this point in the video, guys, I do want to know all your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about today, when it comes from Darksiders 3 finally being released on Switch, all the way through, you know, the Indie World Showcase and the likelihood of the September Direct. So please share, you know, all your thoughts and hopes on what you will see, you know, what we hope to see tomorrow from the Indie World Showcase, and which games you will be most excited and also expecting to see in something like a September Direct from Nintendo. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.